Hello, my name is Roger Claxton and welcome to this series of bite-sized talks entitled Poor on the Moor. The talks are in segments and based on the records in the Widecombe archive and the project that commenced in 2011 to digitise and catalogue them. The talks are based on the contents of the recently published book Welfare in Widecombe 1700 to 1900, written by me. You can get a copy through our website widecombe-in-the-moor.com/welfare and various other outlets. There are also e-book versions available. This is the 10th segment of the Poor on the Moor series of talks and shows you how to access the archive. In this segment we're departing from the usual format and we're going to show you some pages from the Widecombe Digital Archive and how to use it. Using your web browser, you can get to the archive by going to www.widecombearchive.org.uk or by searching for Widecombe Archive. I'll be showing you the following. Firstly, the welfare pages in the archive, including the detailed transcript of the 1804 churchwardens and overseers accounts, the collections that we have in the digital archive, and also how to search within the archive. I used the example of searching for a name. Okay, so we're going to start on the Google search page, and we're just going to enter Widecombe Archive, search, and that should give us the Widecombe Archive page. It's the first item, straight to the Widecombe Digital Archive page. Initially let's focus on the Welfare in Widecombe page, which is the supporting material for the book. Information that came to light after publication or that was too large to include. But we're going to focus on the churchwardens and overseers accounts. Click on that. And here we can see we've got the overseers accounts for 1803 to 1804 and 1804 to 1805. The 1803-4 accounts, we've got 28 separate pages in the year in the account book, and the 1804-5 has got 29 pages. So we just choose one more or less at random. So let's have Good Friday's outgoings. They made 3 weeks of pay on Good Friday, 1804. Just show the layout of this page. On the left hand side we have an image of the account book page itself, and on the right hand side the transcription of that page. So each line in the transcription corresponds to a line in the account book. Just pick up a few examples. John Warren in need, Mary Griffin in need, 2 payments, and then paid for a coat and bedgowned for ditto. Gowned is a gown, so it's a night dress effectively for Mary Griffin, and 6.5 yards of barras, which I think is a type of cloth, for bed tie for Isaac Brooking, and so on. You can look at all the pages and look at it in some detail if you want. We'll go back to the index. Now go to Widecombe Archive homepage, and if we look at the collections, we can see the various collections that we have so far. If we click on the main parish archive, you'll see a list of all of the items in the main parish archive. Just pick one of those at random, the overseers account 1700 to 1733, and then you get a list, sub-list of all of the individual catalogue entries within that overseers accounts. And what we've done here is we've broken the account book down into account years, mainly to keep the number of images to a reasonable level, usually below 20. So if we just pick one of these, say the first one, it's got 14 images in it. Here you can see the information recorded, and here are the images. So you can click on an image and then we get a picture of the image. We can make it a bit larger if we want to, and then we can page through them, the images, see all the pages. As this is an early overseer's account, so it's quite difficult to interpret. Writing is more difficult to follow, but still worth doing. Close that. One point on the information recorded for the account books. Given the number of pages and the amount of information on each page, we took the decision not to capture initially all of the names and all of the places and all of the dates mentioned. So you won't find that in here. However, obviously we've done it for 18034 and 18045, but not for other years. It would be an interesting and valuable project for the future, no doubt. Okay, so that's shown you one example of clicking through from a list of the items in an individual archive. Now let's do a search. And to do a search, we can search the individual collections, or we can combine them all together, which I'll do. Then I'll do a name search, and let's search for Jane Leaman, who we've had some dealings with in some of the segments that we've covered. Jane Leaman. I'm doing it as a name search. Do a search. And here are the items returned from that search. Let's look at the first one, which is a baptism record in Leaman Church from 1865. Here you can see all the people mentioned on this page of the baptism record. Click on the image, make it a bit larger, and there you can see the second entry. Elizabeth Jane, daughter of Joseph and Jane Leaman, living at Dartmead. His trade is recorded as a labourer, and there's the bishop who presided. Probably not anything to do with the Jane Leaman we've been looking at, because this is Jane as a wife of Joseph, and therefore that's her married name. Close that window. Now let's have a look at this register of children bound or assigned. All apprenticeships had a record, a register kept. We've only got one book of those. We've got a few for which we haven't got a book, but there's item 140, dated March 1821. Jane Leaman, a girl. Parent Elizabeth Leaman. Could have been related to the previous one. Thomas Hannaford is the person who they're apprenticed to. He's a yeoman of Widecombe. Note at the bottom it says rebound, the 7th of May 1827. So to find that rebinding, I think this will be the second item here, 1827. And there's Jane Leaman, at this time number 201. She's now age 16. And she's apprenticed to Thomas Hannaford, a yeoman again, until 21 or marriage, but difficult to see that. And then here are some indentures for Jane Leaman, and there's the one for 1827 that we've just been talking about. We'll have a quick look at the image, very similar to the other indentures that we've looked at, so we won't go into this one in detail. Just again see all the worthies who are in attendance, justices of the peace down here, but the format very, very similar. interestingly, we haven't got the indenture for 1821, perhaps because it was finalised, it wasn't retained. Who knows? Okay, that completes our quick look through the Widecombe Digital Archive. The best thing to do now is for you to explore it for yourself. So, I hope that has given you some idea of the information stored in the archive and how to access it and search within it. To be honest, there's no better way to do this than to have a go for yourself and see where it leads you. As all you're doing is reading the contents of the archive, you can't cause any damage. That's one of the big plus points with a digital record. So one last time, using your web browser, you can get to the archive by going to www.widecombearchive.org.uk or by searching for Widecombe Archive. So that's the end of segment 10, the segment on accessing the digital archive. Thank you for watching and listening. Please stay with us for the final segment, which draws some conclusions. Thanks for listening.
On 6 strong shoulders I will sway. Lay me down, gently down. Till 6 feet under I'll be